Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2008 Chevy Corvette. Up front is a 6.2 liter V8. Down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this C6 Corvette for two reasons. First of all, been driving a lot of Corvettes. It's been a little while since I've driven the C6, and I'm excited to be back behind the wheel. But the second reason is the fact that this car is modified, and as you could probably hear, it has quite the cam in it. And so today, we're gonna be having a little bit of a hoot in a modified C6. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that LS3 under the hood. So that was actually brand new for the 2008 model year. This generation of Corvette started in 2005, but for 08, they gave it a little bit of a facelift, and with that, they gave it a more powerful engine. It went from a 6-liter to a 6.2. Now, the owner has modified the 6.2 liter quite a bit. Not only did he throw big cams into it, but it also has forged pistons and a tune. So he expects about 460 wheel horsepower, which these were originally rated at like 430, so it makes sense there. Let's see how it drives under a little bit of load. A little bit of second gear here. Third gear. I feel like I just got kicked in the mouth. Oh my goodness. It's so angry. Yeah. Oh, and then you put up into fifth gear and it's like, blah, 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 blah. It's so boring and normal. Gear 1 through 4, you're on your own. The car goes, figure it out, good luck. Have fun, don't die. That is truly, truly, truly the talking point here is go fast, have fun, don't die. And I can't guarantee all three of those will happen today. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual. This was also upgraded at the same time that they updated to the LS3. They switched it from the Tremec T56 to the TR6060. Now, there's not really any major benefit between the two, besides just the 6060 is stronger, and because the LS3 was putting out more power and Z06 and ZR1 were on the horizon, they wanted something that was a little bit beefier. It's just a stronger T56, essentially. It is very stiff. It's a little unforgiving, especially me. I'm coming from a Miata RX-7 kind of background. It feels very, very stiff comparatively to that, but comparatively to other Corvettes, it's pretty much par for the course. Last but not least, of course, it is rear-wheel drive with that torque tube and rear transaxle as the C5 started. How does it feel to drive a cammed LS3 Corvette? It is rowdy. This cam does not mess around. And it adds the frill and sensation of the Z06. Is it as fast as the Z06? No. But the Z06 has always been so crazy and so visceral, and this engine now adds a little bit of that. This car has me not wanting to poke the bear. It is, it's a lot to handle. Mentally, emotionally, physically. There's a lot going on. This is through and through a driver's car, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video, but this thing is something else. Just the C6 in general. It feels like this car has a chip on its shoulder. Almost all C6s do. I don't know why, but it's like GM engineered anger into the seats, into the engine, into the clutch pedal, into the dashboard plastic. Everything about this is It has revenge on its mind. It has a vendetta. None of the other Corvettes that I've driven truly have been as visceral or as mentally taxing as it is to drive a C6. And it is just such a whirlwind. You are a paper bag in an empty parking lot getting tossed wherever the C6 wants to chuck you. And today, luckily for me, it's been in a straight line. I hope that you too could be so lucky. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 6 gauges. Off to the left, we have our coolant temperature and oil pressure, as well as the tachometer. And off to the right, we have the speedometer, battery voltage, and fuel. The steering wheel has been swapped out with a later model steering wheel. It just looks a little bit nicer. And when I say a little bit nicer, it looks a lot a bit nicer. And off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, gauge dimmer switch, and moving on to the door, we have lock and unlock, power mirrors, power windows. Moving into the center, we get 2 climate control vents with a hazard switch. We do have an aftermarket Pioneer radio because most radios from 2008 just don't really keep up with modern tech, so you gotta swap that out. We do have our climate controls, dual zone climate, really, really nice to see here in the C6, especially for 08. Fan speed in the center, little ashtray and cigarette lighter below that. And off to the right, we have the world's smallest cup holders. We will still do a big friggin' bottle test. It fails, but it's just a formality at this point. Shifter off to the left, like I said, pretty harsh and unforgiving, but it works well. It helps me propel the Corvette forward, which is always a good task to accomplish. Then we do have our traction control button. I've always found it funny that this still has a C5 on the traction control button, even though we're in a C6. Handbrake, center console, and the seats. The seats are comfortable enough. This was the base model, and so they don't get heat. They don't get any special stitching or any cool designs on them, but they work well. Being a bigger guy, 5'11", about 270, I fit in here pretty well. The owner is well over 6 foot, and he fits in here as well. So he said he hits his head coming in every once in a while, but beyond that, no major complaints, which is pretty nice to hear. We don't have any back seats, thank God, but we do have a trunk, so let's go back there and talk about the trunk space. Right around the back of the C6, and we do have a button here on the key fob to pop up the rear trunk. Obviously pull it up the rest of the way. The owner loves his music, and so he has fitted some pretty large speakers. However, you will notice as the C4, C5, and C6 also have these little mechanisms here. That is for the top. So you can actually remove this section of the roof and put it into the trunk. There's a nice little storage area for you, and you still have pretty decent amount of cargo space. I've always been really, really impressed with the Corvette with how much rear room it still has, which is fantastic, and the C6 is no different. No other cool specialty things here. We do have these bins, which I guess is a nice feature, but not that out of this world. Definitely cool to have. There we go, nice and easy back down. And that's the back of the C6. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and the owner has done all of the fenders as well as the front bumpers. So it is a Z06 front bumper. They are aftermarket front fenders, but then OEM wide body rear fenders that have been placed onto this base model. So it basically has the body of a Z06 with some, of course, modifications here and there. I think it looks killer. I actually like the white on black here. I think it looks good, and it's a very early 2000s to mid 2000s color scheme in my opinion, so it obviously fits this 08 Corvette. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a cammed C6 Corvette? Here's my final thoughts on the C6. Cammed or not cammed, I've driven 2 Z06s. I've driven the ZR1. Now I've driven a modified base model. I've driven a regular base model. All of them want to tear your snout off. The C4 I always consider as the first modern feeling Corvette. And the C5 got even better. The C5 Z06 is a wonderful automobile. Mid 400 horsepower, very manageable, good on every note. This, GM took it too far. It's that one friend that overdoes it a little too much on spring break. I have to imagine when they were developing this car, someone up at Milford's Proving Grounds in Michigan had to go, whoa, 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 take it easy. Take it easy. like I keep saying, it just feels like it has this agenda. If I look in the glove box, I'm scared I'll find a black booklet with my name yet to be crossed off of it. That's the anger, that's the emotion, that's what I feel behind the wheel of this car. And I think a lot of that is due to the cam, yes. The cam, the tune, the forged pistons, the rebuilt motor, all of that together, yeah, it makes this a crazy experience, but I've driven other Corvette C6s and have felt the same way. It's hardwired into these cars. And then to drive the C7 after this, I'll have a video on that tomorrow, it's almost like Chevy went, all right, our bad, we went a little crazy in the 2000s. Let's dial it back a little bit. And the C7 felt softer, it felt more approachable, it felt more manageable. This, you're never gonna catch a C6 working a 9 to 5. You're never gonna find a C6 following the rules. And honestly, why should it? Oh, goody, goody, goody. It is. This car is too much for me. I love it. I love it. I really, really do. This is not something that I could own and keep out of the ditches. I'm being very respectful of Carson's car here today and keeping it out of a tree, but I know if I owned it, I would not be so lucky. I've managed to not crash it on an hour-long test drive, but I don't know about having one in my garage. I think I would make my fiance a widow pretty quickly. One more little one. I'll get it into second. Pray for a little bit more traction. I shifted into fifth. That's probably my guardian angel saying, let's take it easy here. And you know what? Hey, I respect it. Much like I respect the C6. This is not someone I would want to go toe-to-toe with, but gosh darn it, I'm happy to be behind the wheel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Carson for letting me borrow his Corvette for today's video. What an absolute honor. He has trusted me with his baby, and I am so incredibly thankful to return it in nearly the same condition. The seat might have an additional stain or two, but I am incredibly thankful of Carson for letting me film his vehicles, not only this Corvette, but also his Suburban and his Jetta Sport Wagon. So plenty to love here, and that is all thank you to Carson. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.